Hello everyone. I can't see you, but you can see my hands. Welcome to our channel. Today I'm going to be talking about this little guy. This would be called a folio. There are many different kinds of folio. This is just one. And I wanted to show it because it's really easy to make. It really can be quite interesting in a book, like a journal or some sort of a book that you put it into. You could glue it into one if you wanted to, or you can tuck it in and sew it in, or there's all kinds of ways of using them. Basically what it is a little folder, and it has a tuck spot here or one here, and you can make it so that you open it up and use it with this open, and then you've got like an envelope area. On the back you have exactly the same thing, and you have an envelope area there as well, and then on the inside you just have this. And so you're taking a 12 by 12 piece of paper. You're not cutting it down, you're just using 12 by 12. And I'm going to unfold this and show you how it goes together and how easy it is. So when you unfold it, you can see it's just a 12 by 12. Pick a paper that you like. Make sure that you've got the upper, like it upright, so that what you're looking at is the picture. So when you fold it, it goes upright for you. It is going to fold on an angle, however. So you start off, you want to fold your paper in half, corner to corner, like that. So you just fold it, crease it, it's good. Then you turn it over, and you do that toward the picture. Then turn it over, and you'll have a crease. So you want to turn it again, so you've got your picture upright toward, like this, toward you. And then you want to find the crease that you made, right there, and you want to fold this corner and this corner in toward it, and let them meet in the middle. And then you fold this side and this side to meet in the middle. Now, if you want it to be an envelope style, you can fold these in further, giving the envelope look. So you can do this type of thing. And if you want the other side to also be an envelope, you can do that. And then what you have when you fold it, so you fold your lines then toward, so your pictures are on the outside. And you have this. So then you can take and you can decorate it any way that you want. So today, what I'm going to do is I want the back one to be an envelope style. So it's like this. Now if I want it to remain an envelope opening easy, I take my scissors and I just cut out this little corner here. You can't see the fold that I'm cutting to, but there's a little kind of, it's like a little, it would be the little corner that would be missing if you had a real envelope. So you just kind of cut it like that in a bit. Anyway, you would cut, this one didn't seem to square off, it wants to be folded the other type. So anyway, you would fold it like that and you would cut each side the same. And then you have more of an envelope. Get that out of the way. So I want this to be an envelope that actually opens, and I need to line this so it looks nice. If you have double-sided paper, which a lot of papers are, the scrapbooking papers are 12 by 12, and a lot of them are double-sided. That's for ease of making a scrapbook. So if you have double-sided paper, you don't have to do this step. If you don't have double-sided paper, then, and you don't like the white look, which I don't, so then you want to do this step. Now, I know that this piece of paper that I had used to be one sheet. It's not wide enough. This is a scrap paper, and it's not wide enough for me to tuck in there. Oh dear, me refolding this. I'm going to refold it back the way up. Oh, sorry. I'm going to refold this right back. It's not wide enough this way to fit into here and cover this whole thing. So it'll go in here if I put it to the edge here to where the fold is, but it doesn't do this little bit here. So I've cut a piece, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to fit this so that it fits in and lines up. So what I want to do is I want to line this up, but I want to line this with it. So I just reach underneath and I'm moving just a little paper underneath to find where it meets up and to try and get it in there straight enough that it actually meets. And you can't really tell, if you do it right, you can't really tell where that there's two sheets in there. So you get it lined up right, and it's a little tricky, but if you get it lined up right and you line it up, I should be using this big line instead of the little line that I am lining up with, and then it'll work. You know, I think I did is I think I turned this sheet around because it used to fit right in. So I'm going to turn the sheet around and do that. If it doesn't quite line up and it's not lining up the way you need it to and all the rest, then turn the sheet around and then you can move it. You want to have enough that you can do this with it, that you can line that up. And then once you've got it all lined up and straight like that, which is pretty darn close, a little out, there. And then you can see that once it's glued down, you're not going to really see that there. You won't really notice it. Then hold that one, pull this out, grab your glue, keep holding that one as much as you can, and put your glue down sort of behind. So you need it to stay in place, of course. You don't need to glue the whole sheet on the back. This is the thing, is you just need to glue enough to hold that in place. You do that, then slide this one back in for a moment just to make sure that you haven't messed things up too much. A little bit, turn it there. You want to make sure that it's on that fold line, like, so that you're actually covering that part. So, like that. Yeah, I got it a little crooked, but that's okay. We'll work with it today. And then you just put some glue around the edge, and you don't want to put too much. As for glue, I happen to use Aleene's glue. It's the cheapest stuff around. It's been around since the 70s. I remember Aleene's glue when I was doing things in the 70s. And it was always a really good glue for all kinds of things. It came out, Mod Podge and Aleene's glue, those were your crafting glues of choice. So you want to make sure that you've got enough glue, but not too much, because if you put too much glue, then your paper warps and goes all bubbly and yucky. So you don't want that. Then you turn it over, slide it in, and you're gonna probably get glue. You might notice that I wear gloves when I'm doing glue. That's because I get glue everywhere, like all over my hands, and then they are really ugly after. Okay, let's get that moved a little bit into place. There we go. So that's that one done. I don't care about this part. I could cut that off if I wanted to. I'm going to leave it on. You can cut it off. You can leave it there. It doesn't matter. It depends on what you're using this for. If you're using this as two pockets, which you could still do, then you might want to take this part off so that you're not covering it up. I'm going to leave it there for now. Then I'm going to turn over, and I actually want to do the same thing here. Now you could glue this down, and it then makes your picture continuous without you having to do anything. And you've got your two pockets, not an envelope. I kind of like the idea of an envelope, so I'm going to use this, which is paper that I thought went kind of cute with this, with the beach shoes in the water and the deck look. You do the same thing. You would do this exact same thing with this. You put it in, line it up if you can, you know, kind of do your best to line it up, get it so you've got your sunglasses. Now this one's a little harder because it is continuous, but there, I think that's good. But you might have longer glasses than you should by doing the continuous. Anyway, this is going to be awkward. I'm right-handed. Well, let me just turn this around. Alright, get the glue off. Now, the Aliens glue that I buy, I get it at Michael's. We don't have a lot of choices in Western Canada. We have Michael's or Michael's. Walmart has a few craft things. The Dollar Tree does. Dollar stores, Dollarama, places like that. They'll have choices, but they're not necessarily good choices. And Elmer's glue has too much water in it. It's made more for kids. The Elmer's, I'm talking just the white glue. So you will end up with a lot of bubbling within it. Okay, it can be cleaned off if the glue is on it, and I really like that. I just use the Lysol wipes. I like to use the ones that are disinfecting ones because it has a something in it that washes the stuff away, so you end up with it being able to take off glue marks, ink marks, that kind of thing, and get your mat looking nice again. And you know, if you're going to be doing YouTube stuff, you should at least try to have a clean mat to invite the neighbors in, which is kind of what I consider, you know, you guys are, is the neighbors coming in. My friends, the neighbors, coming in to watch me craft and maybe even have a cup of coffee or tea. So there, I've got that put together. Turn it over this way, which is the right way up. And then what you do from here is you can decorate it. So one of the things you can do is, like if you wanted to use this back part, for instance, you can tuck in, now this is just stripy paper that I cut into, I had this much left over. 2 strips like those other pieces that I used actually. I just cut them in half, and that can be made into a notebook by stapling it. You could glue it. I mean, I can bring my big stapler in and put a staple in the middle, like that, and then it's a notebook. And you can tuck it in, like that. Just leave it in the tuck spot, and that's your notebook in there. You can also decorate. You can decorate front and back, or both, whichever you want. Now what these bits, I'm just going to bring them over and show you. What these bits are, is on the front of these 12 by 12 books and 6 by 6 and 8 by 8, there's usually a little picture like this of what the paper looks like inside. I don't let those go to waste. They're perfect for little things that you can decorate with. You can decorate these, add a bit of lace, a ribbon, whatever you want, and decorate it, and then you can use this as a decoration. Put it on there. There's lots of things you can do with them. This one actually has little writing on it. You know, so use these, don't chuck them out. Cut them off the front into little things and use them. This one has a word on it, which, you know, you could just glue on there. There's one that's got a little heart on it. You could cut the heart out if you wanted to. This one's got a building on it. So kind of use these things. The idea with junk journaling is to use junk to make and put together and use in your journals. So you can do all sorts of things with them. I'm going to show you an example. We're done with this for today. I'm going to show you when I start doing another journal, when I start putting it together, how this can be put in. I might decorate it between then and now. But anyway, I just want to show you what a junk journal often consists of. So you have the pages, you have a cover. This one's kind of cute, I like these guys. They're called Cottage Girls, and They're made by My Porch Prints, and they're printable. What's called a printable. Printables are things that you can print. You buy the right to the file, you get the file, and you can print it as many times as you want. Anyway, so this is a single, what's called a single signature. It's a bunch of papers put together. So I have a variety of papers in here. This is a writing paper that's kind of a gray. It would be used in the past as a resume paper. This is a piece of, it's very thick, but it's also very pliable. And I don't know where I got it or anything. It was just a piece of paper that I had in the drawer, and I cut it a bit and put it in here. There's another one of those gray sheets. And then, here's a yellow sheet. This is handmade paper, this one. So you can use it for different things. There's a piece of just copy paper. It's another one of those pieces. There's an envelope. This one is an actual envelope. It's a big envelope from days of old. And what I've done is I've made this into a pocket that fits into the book like that. And so when I get to that page, it's got this little thing, and I would put brown, which is aging, they call it. So it's just taking brown ink and running it along the edge, and then you would be able to see that really clearly. These are all things you'll see me doing in the future. There's more copy paper, there's another one of those sheets, there's another one of those, and that's the middle of your book. And you can sew these. There's lots of ways of putting a journal together, of actually binding your journal together. As we go along, we'll learn things, but that's a sort of a junk journal. It's not really what a lot of people do. A lot of people, they rip pages out of books and fold them in half and use them. And I have a problem with ripping books, especially old ones. I would never take a book from the 1800s or early 1900s and tear it apart, ever, no matter what the book is. Other people do it. They have no problem doing it. I can't destroy a book. So you'll never see me doing things like that, and if that's what you're looking for, then this is the wrong place for you, because it's just never going to happen with me. But you can do things like that. You can, if you want to, scan them in, scan your pages in, and then use them as a scanned in page, which I wouldn't mind doing. Those are things I would do, but I would never use the page itself. But they use garbage stuff, old envelopes from junk mail, and sometimes the junk mail itself. Junk journaling started in 2008, which is quite recent. You would think, the way that it's done, that it was started in the 1800s, 1700s, but no. Back in the 17 and 1800s, they had really beautiful calling cards, which they would, if they went to somebody's house, there was a tray at the door. In the rich families, in the poor families, no. But in the rich families, there was a tray sitting near the door, and they would put their calling card into that tray. And these calling cards were so beautiful, they were collected. And the women would have a book. They deliberately had a scrapbook, what they called a scrapbook. And it was a book that was very beautiful, with them decorating it, but it was for these calling cards. And they would put the calling cards in and decorate the pages around them and make really beautiful things. So that's where junk journaling started in 2008, not back then, during an economic downfall in the United States. And it did affect sort of the rest of the world, but not the same as it did in the United States. And there was people that began protesting the price of things like a journal book. And they started making their own. And it became something that they would talk about to their friends, and their friends would make one, and it became a big thing where people started doing this, and that's where it started. And then they started making them prettier and decorating and doing all this stuff. But originally, it was to have a place to actually journal, write their day-to-day diary, without having to go out and buy one. So they would use things that were more blank paper. and write on it and things like that. And they would decorate using garbage, basically. Cereal boxes, old junk mail pieces, that kind of thing. Magazines, all kinds of things that they would use. So that's junk journaling in the truest sense of junk journaling and where it actually started. So that's what I'm going to finish with today. I think that that's a lot of information. And this is the little piece that we sort of made today. We got it together. I put this in upside down. Oh dear. Oh well. This one is in upside up. Because there is no upside down. Anyway, it's just something for myself anyway. It's not like I won't be selling these kinds of things. But this is a folio, and we will be looking at other folios. We're going to be doing quite a lot of folios in the beginning here, because they're usually fairly quick compared to a journal. Journals can take weeks to put together properly. They're fairly quick to put together, and they usually look pretty decent. They're not going to be as simple as this. Most of them will come from a kit of some sort. So I will be talking more about kits, and you'll get links and all kinds of things for that. Alright, so that's the end of it today. Thank you very much for watching and for being here. And we'll have coffee next time. Talk to you then. Bye.